and once again show you today's agenda, today's topic, and some more details. So here are our guests. Of course, I will be introducing them separately in the moment. But before that, who is behind today's session? I hope you know that this is My German University, a database for English taught study programs in Germany. So if you want to study in Germany partially or fully in English, you are welcome to use this study finder, which has lots of benefits, most importantly in saving your time while searching for a relevant study program, and how you can, of course, combine multiple bullet or filters that are applicable to you. For example, about English language scores that you already have, and you are specifically searching for programs that will be accepting it. Maybe some notes about work experience, application mode, application via UniAssist or direct application. So all the different things can be combined, and then the study finder will show you relevant study programs. You can also filter later on programs according to, let's say, deadline or city or other relevant things again. So this is very useful. And then, of course, all programs have their own profiles where you can find lots of information, even sometimes info packages of different programs. What else? We have useful articles. There are more than 200 comprehensive articles. We have country-specific articles. I know because when I was checking the applicants, or for the ones who have registered for today's session, some of them already shared the questions, and one of them about scholarships. So for the scholarships or general topics, I can also advise you to check out our articles and even country-specific articles. So there are DID scholarships for specific country lists, and then available options for you are already listed there. So feel free to use also this opportunity. And I need to mention that those things are free of charge. And also, one important note is that they are written by internationals. Therefore, it's not just a sum of information which you could also separately search for in internet, but it's also the insights of us that we want to share the information with you. What we also have is webinar. And we have two groups of webinars, general and subject webinars. In general webinars, we talk about broader topics, for example, how to apply by UniAssist, what is a scholarship scheme in Germany, or how to apply for visa and blocked account, and how does it feel studying in Germany in general. So if you want to know about those broader topics, you are welcome to join our general webinars. Otherwise, you can, but when you want to listen to specific program presentations as today, then you can join our subject webinars as you did today. And of course, as team, our team comes from different countries, different backgrounds, and we all share the information with you about studying and living in Germany through different ways that I have already mentioned. All right. Now, I hope you have already navigated our study finder and searched for programs in media design and storytelling. There is no one category that you can select for this, but in this case, I selected 4 subjects, which you can also do, and it gives me 107 degree programs. The first breakdown will be, of course, into bachelor and masters, but the second step would be, in case you are not willing to start right away with German because you are not that confident, or you prefer to improve the skills first in Germany and then maybe search for German, partially German program and so on, you could filter for no German skills needed. And here, that's why you see English only option, which says 26 English only for bachelors and 55 English only for masters. If you want to know how it feels studying, what are general admission, ranking, and language requirements for such kind of programs, there are subject pages as well, and you can also look through and see all this information there. We have one tip for you is to look for the right university profile and study program rather than being guided only by fees, rankings, names, cities, etc. And you will hear that today as well, that each program is really different, unique, and it's really worth your attention, and you could then select which program is more suitable for your further career path and your intentions at all. Briefly about the university landscape in Germany, there are universities and universities of applied sciences. I can share the article which also tells the whole historical difference, or at least partial historical difference between those groups. But what we want you to know today, or at least for this session, is that usually all programs offered by universities are more research and theory oriented, while universities of applied sciences usually offer application and practice-oriented programs. And one more tip is to search for programs by subject, not by the program name, because you could never guess program names unless it's super strict, like study one specific thing only in Germany, and therefore you can then see from the subject. You can of course narrow down the search by different filters, but it's advisable not to miss any program to search by a subject. All right, now we already approached to the main part today of today's session, when we have program presentations. And for Master Research in Design, Art and Media, we have two guests. That's why I will be changing the slides here. We have Professor Dr. David Kickli and also Professor Dr. Peter Ott from Merz Academy, University of Applied Art, Design, Media, Stuttgart. And yeah, a snapshot of the program details on the slide, of course, the location as well. But we all know the professors always have better presentations, so I just right away give this virtual mic to them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nino. Yeah, I would just begin also with a presentation of slides. Just for your information, I don't see anybody here, so but I trust you're here. And maybe you'll have some questions afterwards then. So I think that's good. All right. So our program, I begin with this slide because I feel like it shows a lot about the atmosphere of the school that we're working in. This isn't a stock photo. It really is quite a, comfortable place to work. It's quite small school. And of course, we're, primarily engaged in professional advancement, but it's also a place that you can live fairly well in and meet people and enjoy yourself. And I feel like this, is kind of embodies the atmosphere that we're working in. The program, Research in Design, Art and Media, Designing the Future. So we changed the program recently. We've been doing the master's program for over 10 years, 12 years, and we changed it this year. Actually, just recently, first of all, changed the title of it, and we added this Designing the Future to it, and we also changed it to an English language program. And Designing the Future, I think like 20 years ago, when you'd say something like that, it felt like this kind of futurist, kind of happy, maybe moment. Purely, you're thinking about how beautiful the future is going to be and how wonderful everything will be, and we'll all be flying around in cars and whatever, these type of images of the future. And I think now our particular program, at least, is looking at the future with a lot of questions about, ecological problems. There are two wars looming very close to Europe, and or one is actually quite in Europe, and there's a lot of political instability around the world. The development of artificial intelligence has thrown in a new characteristic to, a new thing to think about as a designer and artist. So when we say designing the future, we have this kind of hope, obviously, that the future will will turn out to be maybe better than these kind of apocalyptic visions that I'm talking about. But we're also, we just specifically address this this situation that seems where the future seems very uncertain. So we use design, art, media as tools for research. Sorry about that. Not really to conduct research, not really to conduct academic research about them. We use them as tools as instruments to approach and understand the world. The program includes graduates with degrees in film and art background, but also with those with a university backgrounds. We like to bring all of these people to the same table. So artists, designers, filmmakers, and academics. And yeah, and also this is also something to do with this question of designing the future. We believe that, first of all, we cannot seclude ourselves in our own little bubbles of art or design or academia, respectively. We have to meet together on this table and work together. And we offer 2 programs. One is a 4-semester, one is a 3-semester. That depends on how many ECTS points, credits you may or may not have. This will be different in different continents, and different in America, and in Asia you have different systems, but you have to look at how many credits your bachelor has to determine how many semesters you study. And you can apply in winter and summer semester. So now a couple things about the program. I'm going through this very quickly, so there's maybe enough time for dealing with some questions. So our program focuses very much on developing the project. So your individual master's project will stand in the middle, will be in the middle of it. And it should be a combination of research and artistic practice and design practice. So there is there's a lot of emphasis on theory, but also with an understanding that it's not purely an academic theory program by any means. In fact, the project and its practicality really stands in the middle of it. And another aspect that's very important for us is collaboration. So learning to work together, learning that design and art and research are collaborative practices, fundamentally social practices, and that stands very much at the center. So as I said, developing the individual project is important. There is the in-depth education, so there's a lot of the theory backgrounds. Master students are expected to approach different technologies. So we focus on virtual reality. We're focusing on graphic design, a whole bunch of different things: photography, film, video. We're sort of trying to use these tools to understand and engage with the world. And it's very open, interdisciplinary, and also a very international sort of laboratory situation that we want to encourage. This is sort of the nitty-gritty of the curriculum, which is maybe too specific for this situation, but at least you can get an idea. And of course, we'd be happy to send you all of this information in an email if you want to contact us later. But you can get a good idea, maybe, well, I don't even know if you can read it might be too small. But it's I don't know if I should go through with this. I don't know how much time I have, but Peter, what do you think? My colleague Peter Ott.
Well, perhaps just shortly, if you have a look at it, then you would see that the main thing is like the project development, and where you would have a sort of like individual advisor from the group of our professors, which would sort of like meet you on a weekly basis and so on. The second module is experimentation and techniques, which mainly are three workshops each semester, 2 or 3 workshops each semester, which each of these workshops takes 1 week. And the other is then the third thing is the third module, research and creative writing, where you go more into theory, to media studies, and also to creative writing and the techniques of writing. And in the in the further development, this would be like more how to organize a symposium, and also how to teach yourself. This would also be part of our curriculum. I think that's enough for that. But if you have more questions, just approach us via email or however you like.
Yeah, thank you. So the projects are encouraged to explore and develop issues that are of current relevance. Much more than a collection of buzzwords, the following issues preoccupy our contemporary life and practice with great urgency. So this is this question of the future, thinking about the future. So among the questions we're addressing, I mean, this is extremely broad, so hopefully it doesn't seem unserious in its breadth, but the effects of artificial intelligence, as I mentioned, sustainability, the growth of authoritarianism and its relationship to communication, post-colonial conflicts, representation, diversity, inclusion, gender, corporate ownership of the public sphere, etc. So these are basically, I'm just trying to give you an idea that we really like to encourage the projects to be, really looking at the situation that we're in with open eyes. And I mean, just the implications of these are very complicated too. Like the effects of artificial intelligence could mean a number of things. Obviously, it could mean that we return to analog photography, for example. Who knows? I don't. A lot of these things imply maybe solutions that are not so expected, and we definitely would like to encourage those. And of course, things like authoritarianism. I mean, this also, right now we have students coming from countries where there's authoritarian leaders in charge of their countries. I mean, maybe soon we'll all be saying this, I don't know. But it's obviously we can't deal with this maybe specifically, but it's important to talk about it. It's something, we don't make any claims about being able to change some of these things, but we like to explicitly address these topics. So yeah, how do I finance my studies? This is a big question. Our school is half private and public. So we have a tuition that you have to pay, a monthly tuition, which for German students is something, and European perhaps is something different than for international students. What this implies. So we have a tuition of 549 euros a month. We also have this solidarity model that you would have to actually talk to our colleague about. It's a complicated, but well, not that complicated way of distributing the payments over a longer period of time. And one just important thing is that the März-Akademie is a nonprofit school, and all of the tuition is used for funding equipment and also, of course, paying the teachers, etc. Yeah, and here is the information that where you can contact us, although all this is probably Googleable, most of our contact information. And yeah, maybe Peter, I went through that very quickly. I'm sorry. I hope that wasn't too fast.
No, perhaps just to sum up, sort of, what we're interested in is working with you on your specific project, and so that this is really the main thing, like working together with you on your specific project, developing it and bringing it to a really good end. At the same time, it's like, for example, if you come if you have a bachelor in humanities and you have this desire to do a certain documentary film on which subject ever, then we would supply you also with like workshops and so on, so that you get the necessary skills to do your film, for example. This is just to add, perhaps. Okay. Anything? Do we still have some time?
Yeah, in case you want.
I think we're done.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
maybe one last word. I mean, I think the exciting thing about our program is that we're trying to bring these people. Also, I come from a humanities background, and Peter is a filmmaker. So the professors themselves are coming from very different backgrounds. Some are more into applied design, some are artists. And I think this is one of the exciting things about the program, but it's also a challenge because, you know, sometimes we're speaking very different languages and we have very different, yeah, I mean, some people want to work at Daimler, Mercedes-Benz, others want to stay in academia, others want to be artists, you know, so it's you end up speaking different languages maybe, and but I think that's kind of one of the most exciting things about our program.
Well, speaking of languages, right now we have students from Russia, from India, from Iran, from Kyrgyzstan, and one from Germany.
And Georgia.
From Georgia too. And of course, we are all speaking in English, but I mean, this is really, really a new experience for us also, that really everybody brings their own culture and their own also their own perspective on the world. And so we meet really, we have also each semester we have like 3 presentations where the students are asked to present their project in the state, where is it like in this moment. This is we just had this like 2 weeks ago, and it's really interesting. So talking with each other about the projects and together with the professors, and then afterwards have a nice meal together and just meet. And so this is it, more or less.
Great. Thank you very much. It was interesting, and I also tried to somehow support you in chat. First of all, dear attendees, in case you need the ECTS calculator, it's already in chat. The program module description is also there. And of course, the social media information or links are also there. So feel free to get in touch with these great people who you see how friendly they are, and also happy to help and happy to see your applications. All right, now I will share my
Thank you very
screen.
much. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Yeah. And now I would like to then give a mic to Anna Richards, who will be talking about another very great program in MA Master in Arts, Serial Storytelling from IFS, International Filmschule Köln. And it's kind of, a joint program, I would say. And then Anna will be sharing the details right now. But before that, of course, some quick facts about the program are on the slide right now.
All right, can you see that, Nina? Good. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Anna Richards, and I am a second-year student in the MA Serial Storytelling program at the IFS. So this presentation is a little bit different since it's from a student perspective and my personal experience. But a little bit about me to get started. I'm from the United States. I studied film production in my undergrad, and then I moved to Los Angeles and worked in the film industry in visual effects for 3 years before I found out about this program and moved to Cologne last August 2023. I worked in kind of new technology for film and games, but I really wanted to return to the core of storytelling, the writing, and that's how I ended up in the serial storytelling program at the IFS. I found this program through just searching the internet for different serial or TV writing programs in Europe because I wanted to experience something new and different than what was in my home country. And the uniqueness of this program really stood out to me because studying series writing with an international group of writers was something that would be new and different. And I think writing is such a unique art form, especially TV writing, because you really have to put yourself out there and learn from other people while also learning a lot about yourself in the process. And I thought, what better way to do that than halfway around the world? So that's how I ended up as an international student. So to tell you a little bit about the MA Serial Storytelling program, It is Europe's first and only international master's program focusing on collaborative writing for series. We focus on serial narration for television and digital platforms, and we work with series creators, script consultants, and media scholars to develop our own series concepts. Our practical work studies serial dramaturgy, character development, and the writer's room model. And our learning targets are really story development skills, collaboration techniques, like I said, in the US model of the writer's room, and the innovative approach of artistic research. I would say that the program is very forward-looking with various mediums of serial storytelling being explored, including interactive storytelling as well as comics and daily dramas. Our main focus is on TV writing specifically, but we also touch on different forms of storytelling in different mediums. And I think the program really keeps an eye on recent trends for societal trends as well as technological trends within the series market, including emphasizing social responsibility in series storytelling, as well as using new technologies such as AI. We recently had a 2.5-day seminar on AI and the implications of using AI in writing, but also how it can help writers and just staying on top of those type of trends. We look at the craft of storytelling from a very hands-on and practical perspective, as well as theoretical and research-based perspectives as well. The length of the program is 2 years, and it is located in Cologne. And as much as I love serial storytelling, I've also really fallen in love with the city of Cologne and living here. It's a very beautiful city to live in. The Germans will say it's not the most architecturally beautiful in Germany, but the people here are really lovely, and it's known as like the friendliest city in Germany. And I can really understand why. I've met a lot of great people here, and there's a lot of nightlife, multiple universities, so plenty of students, as well as an art scene and beautiful parks, as well as located very centrally. Before I moved here, I'd never been to Germany and I'd never been to Europe either. And in my time here, I have gotten to travel to Belgium and the UK and Italy and Portugal as well. So that's been a huge plus for me as an international student, being able to experience different places. So now I will give a little overview of, one moment, just my overall experience in the program, starting with the first semester till where I'm at now, which is in the midst of the third semester, and then looking ahead until what the final semester looks like in this program. So we kicked off our first semester of the program with really getting to know our cohort, since these are the people that we're spending 2 years with and writing with and sharing very intimate and personal details with through the writing process. My cohort has students from the USA, of course, as well as Belarus, Pakistan, Bulgaria, Italy, Serbia, Montenegro, and of course, Germany. We're sort of split into 2 tracks. There's the German track as well as English track. We spend almost all of our time together, and all of our seminars are in English together. But for certain assignments, the German track writes in German so that they have finished writing pieces in their native language. And then the rest of us are writing in English. And my class has a huge range of backgrounds, including people who have worked in journalism, marketing, on-set script supervision, music videos, art direction, and then myself having worked in visual effects. And one of my classmates even worked in architecture before. So it's a very interesting range of professional backgrounds. I'll have some professional experience in film or video production in some way, but it's still just a very interesting group of people. And I think all of the previous cohorts as well have been a very diverse mix of countries, cultures, and professional backgrounds. And back to that first semester. So after we got to know each other, we immediately jumped into a series of lectures from various guest lecturers, including 𝘈𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘵, who was a writer on Star Trek, and Andreas Fuhrman, who was a writer on the Australian daily drama Neighbours, which is very well known, as well as many other lecturers. And these lectures really set us up into our first project, which was our web series project. And this was our first time working in small groups and testing the waters of a small writer's room experience for a short form series, a web series, so about 10 to 15-minute episodes. And we had guidance of mentors during that process as well. And months later, in June, we ended up pitching these series at 𝘱𝘢𝘳𝘕 in Cologne, which was a great experience. You can see the picture on the right in my slide. That's me and my group on stage pitching our project. And it was just a great experience being on stage for the first time, pitching our work, having a microphone, and talking about our project. And I think this program, there are a lot of opportunities to pitch throughout. Every time we finish a group project, we have pitching sessions with producers who come to the university and give us real industry feedback on our pitches, as well as getting to pitch. Well, we got to pitch this web series at 𝘱𝘢𝘳𝘕, and then in the final semester, we pitch our final master's projects individually at 𝘱𝘢𝘳𝘕 as well to an audience of professional writers, producers, broadcasters, the whole gamut of people working in the series industry in Germany and abroad. Back to the semester. At the conclusion of the first semester, we wrote our first full-length script, which was our spec script, which means writing a script for an existing TV show, especially a procedural TV show. And I was mentored by Juliana Lima, who wrote on 1899 and Maxton Hall. So that was a great experience getting feedback from a professional in the industry who's writing on Netflix and Amazon shows. And then we rolled into our second semester, which was the huge writer's room experience, where we fully learned how to write in a US model writer's room. And in that experience, we each group created a TV show in 6 weeks under the guidance of an experienced industry showrunner. The showrunner for my group was Denise Harkavy, who's worked on The Expanse, Manhunt, How to Sell Drugs Online Fast, as well as a variety of other shows in Hollywood, as well as How to Sell Drugs in the German market. And this was the most intense but amazing part of the program so far. At the end of it, we had a show Bible, as well as 5 fully written episodes, 1 per student, as well as a fully plotted season from the first episode to the 8th episode. And you can see in the photo on the left, that is our writer's room, and we had all the note cards on the wall that plotted out all 8 episodes of our show. And it was a very mentally and emotionally intensive experience, but also just beautiful getting to know my classmates further and working together and working with a professional who encouraged us and let us explore ideas and also gave her own industry knowledge throughout the process. And at the end, we received one-on-one feedback from her, all of the groups did, and it was really insightful to hear feedback from someone who's been working in a writer's room for 10 plus years, as well as feedback on our final scripts that we turned in. And this project finished last June, and my group now in October is still meeting to rework our series and continue to pitch it to producers here in Germany. So it's still in the works. And after the writer's room experience, this summer, we went into the one very traditionally academic project of this program, which is the research project. And in the research project, you can explore really any topic within serial storytelling and do academic research on it. So I conducted my research on adaptations and how first-person perspective novels are adapted into TV series and what techniques make them successful. And examples from my other classmates, someone studied video game adaptations, someone else studied like mental health and the portrayal of psychopathy in television series. So there was a wide range of what people covered in these research papers, and it was a very interesting process. Oh, and I should mention it's about a 15 to 20 page research paper, so not super long, but still we put a lot of work into them. And I think by the end, people were quite excited about their topics and learned a lot. And that really brings us to today for my experience so far. We're now in our third semester of the program, and we're in the early stages of our master's project, as well as getting started on our last group writer's room experience, in which producers from a German broadcaster, ZDF, will advise on a series that we'll work together on developing in another simulated writer's room experience. And tomorrow we're headed to European Series Day at the Cologne Film Festival, which will be great to learn more about the European market and get some networking in. In March, we go to Series Mania in France, which is another series festival, which is a huge network experience for us and meeting people in the industry, and which will hopefully lead to jobs once we graduate. And then in our final semester, the fourth semester, we are almost entirely focused on our master's project, in which we individually develop our own series concept and write the pilot for it. And then we will pitch our series on stage at Camp in June to, again, audience of producers, broadcasters, writers. Yeah. I think this program really provides a lot of different networking opportunities when it comes to bringing in guest lecturers that we get to talk with. Last week, we had the head of Amazon TV come and talk to us and hear very in-depth insights into what Amazon television is looking for in projects in Germany specifically. And then other experiences like the festivals that we go to, nighttime networking experiences. So there's a lot of just experiences to get to know people in the German market, as well as other European producers and some American writers, producers, and showrunners as well. Yeah, so as an international student, I will say there's a lot of steps to take in the process. I do recommend, if you are considering the program and get accepted into the program, doing everything as early as you can and being very organized about it, like applying to dormitory housing in Cologne because it's difficult to find housing in Cologne, getting financing in order, and applying to visas in your home country if that's applicable. There's a lot of paperwork and steps to get settled in Germany, but it's all doable. And in my experience, it's fully worth it. I think if you're considering this program and are able to, I really recommend applying. I think there's no better way to develop as a writer than to get out of your comfort zone and work with new types of people. And series writing is it's collaborative, so what better way to learn than with a group of international and German people all working towards the same goal. So here's the last slide with links that'll probably be shared anyways. I also have the head of our program, Carolyn, on this Zoom, and if there's more specific questions about financing or application, she can answer those. And yeah, thank you for listening.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much, Anna, for this great presentation. It's always nice to have student perspective, but also a professional perspective, because it was a really great presentation. So thank you very much. And also, yeah, I saw that there is another info session, 27th of November. So I could not put the link of Zoom, because then it would mean let go from this Zoom room, which I didn't want to do. Therefore, dear attendees, if you want to attend this session, I will share the link in a follow-up email on Monday. All right, great. So first of all, thank you everybody for your time, of course, and also for taking the questions in written form, which I will try to still voice. First one was a technical question from Natalia about the entry test or exams. As far as I know from Köln, there is selected applicants have to do an interview and written assignment. Is it correct, Anna? When you applied, did you also have?
Yeah, for the application, there's a variety of essay and writing pieces. I'm not 100% sure if it's the same for this cohort as for mine. And then for, yes, selected applicants, there is an interview on Zoom.
And for the Merz Academy, I also saw that there is an interview.
Yeah, it's similar.
Yes.
You submit the portfolio and an idea for a project also. Both are possible. So, if you're coming from a humanities background, maybe you don't have so much artistic work to show, but you can submit that. And then, just as like Anna was talking about her school, it's then selected applicants are invited to an interview.
Great, thank you so much. So there was a question about the scholarship for Merz Bildungswerk scholarship. Is it only for German students? Is it like BAföG? And then Professor Ott mentioned the contact details, which I will just copy and paste in chat, so that in case anyone wants to see more information about it, then you could check that out. But I had a quick look. I believe this scholarship is not available right now, if I correctly saw it on the page.
Oh, and
It's
not quite informed.
It's
David,
not.
do you know more?
I think it's not available now, and also, but it will be available in the future. So it depends.
Yeah, dear attendees, feel free to check out the program pages in the chat. If you want to also find other scholarships like 𝘗𝘬 or others, feel free to check out articles about that. So it's really common to have a scholarship. All right, writing task 5, sorry. Dear Arsal, could you maybe elaborate a bit on that? What do you mean? Before that, then I would like to ask Anna. There was a question which you, in the last part of presentation, mentioned on the different festivals and places you are attending, you have attended, and then we also have a written answer for that. But the question was, what opportunities are there to pitch original series ideas to industry professionals? I saw you have options like Seriencamp Conference, Series Mania in Lille, and the Nils Film Festival Cologne. But does everyone can go there, or do you have special preconditions and further selection?
Yeah, I can definitely answer that. So we all attend all of these festivals that I listed. Not all of them do we pitch at. We don't pitch at the Film Festival Cologne or Series Mania, but we do all pitch at Seriencamp in our final semester. And that is all of the participants in the serial storytelling program. And then the other two festivals, Series Mania and Film Festival Cologne, are mainly for networking and attending panels and speaking to people in the industry.
Thank you so much. And similar question was for Merz Academy. There was and Professor Ott actually answered already. It will be interesting to know whether there are opportunities for students to publicly exhibit or present their work, either within the university or in external art and media spaces. Maybe if you could once, like, because people see it as private answers, maybe others could also be
Yes,
interested.
of course. No, I mean, right, this evening, for example, we have an event together with Institut für Kultur- und Technikforschung. It's about, I mean, bachelor students made films about, well, more or less climate change, and we have some big event now this evening, and there will be follow-up events in somewhere else in the city, where we cooperate with several other institutions, but we also had several cooperations with the 𝘗𝘀𝘪𝘵, which is like it's a museum about history with the Kunstverein, and so no, we're doing this very often.
Thank you so much. Now I got the question from Arsal once again. I think it was already partially answered, and then it was a follow-up. So maybe I will read it out, Anna, and then you could, in case you feel comfortable with that, you could take over. For the writing task 5, in the application, do we have to write the things in a proper script format? The answer was yes, and I believe it doesn't matter, is it task 6 or 5, I guess?
Yeah, if it's the task where you're writing the scenes, yeah, in script format.
And just a follow-up, because I just came here, is the following. I know this program caters to TV shows, but will all the things of this program also apply to feature films if we want to write one in the future?
There's less of a focus on feature films, although I think the basic tenets of screenwriting kind of apply to series and feature films. So in the program itself, we don't have any assignments where we're writing a feature film, but it's always good to have that in a portfolio as well. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. And then the last question, which came before the webinar started as people were registering, is the following. And this is for Merz Academy. The question is as follows. Are there partnerships with activist groups or NGOs that students can collaborate with? Professor Kickli or Professor Odd?
There are no specific partnerships with activist groups. Well, I mean, they're very close with like the group Critical Mass, and I mean, there are lots of links, but there are no official partnerships, neither with NGOs nor with specific activist groups. But there are sort of informal links, I mean, among the professors. Peter, maybe you can.
Well, it's something we definitely are looking for. And also, I mean, all of us colleagues, many of us are linked to some activist groups or NGOs also. So it's not so much on the institutional level, more on an informal level, but we definitely are encouraging to doing things in this direction. This is, I mean, it's more or less what our master's program is about.
Thank you so much. Great. Then I will kindly remind you, to you, dear attendees, the deadlines. The first program's deadline is 15th of November. Clock is ticking, and the other program has deadline 6th of January. You still have time, but don't relax, because as Anna mentioned, there is always lots of work and you need to write lots of things. Therefore, yeah, right after today's session, just have an overnight thinking and then decide, or maybe apply to both of them. I don't know. I don't know if the application portfolios could be same for both programs, but yeah, you decide, and then best of luck with your applications.